Instead of waiting to say change in someone, I think we need to change ourselves. Right, we need to change our mentality, change the way we expect something. So humans always think and find fault with others. Then we look at it and it's like, why don't we point the fingers to ourselves? So I think as we want to make a lot of big difference, no need to go until so far. Climb the mountain and then knock down the walls. You look at when you wake up. What is that positive change?
Welcome to the Summit Series Voices of Courage Asia, where we celebrate leaders, changemakers, and visionaries who embody courage and drive transformative impact. I'm Haas, your host, and in this special series, we will be exploring stories of resilience, leadership, and bold steps taken to create meaningful change. Today's guest is a social entrepreneur making a real difference. As the founder of Singapore fashion Runway, she empowers youth with special needs by providing design, retail, and events management opportunities. Her initiatives have been showcased at National Day parades with designs worn by Singapore's ministers, MPs, and leaders. Now, through Fashion for a Social Cause, Food for a Social Cause, and Stay for a Social Cause, she continues to champion inclusivity and creativity. It is my pleasure to welcome Eileen Yap to the show. Hi, Eileen. Thank you for being here, and we're excited to have you join us today. So how are you today?
I'm good. Hi, Haas. Good afternoon to everyone as well.
Thank you. And it's such a pleasure and honor to have you here today. So let's dive in. Let's talk about personal journey and impact. What does inspiring courage for transformative impact mean to you personally?
I think for me, transformative impact, and I think at the end of the day is having that freedom, to make a difference. So I mean, every day when we wake up, we can choose, to be happy, to be able to help others, serve others. In my point of view, is to serve the community. So I think making an impact is really whose lives you want to touch on. And I mean, when you see them being like positive and then make a difference to not only to me, but to those around them as well, I think that is transformative.
Wow, love that perspective. You really got myself and perhaps some of the viewers to think deeper into that. So let's unpack a little bit more. Can you share a pivotal moment when courage transformed you and your approach to dealing with challenges?
So I think my personal challenges would be that because we serve the people and youth with special needs, so I think being around them whereby they have to live with the conditions, from baby to now, most of them are youth. I think the way that they interact could have different kind of conditions. Some could be non-verbal, some could be living with a certain disorder, but I think seeing them break through every day, even though they may not be able to understand, comprehend, yet they are very willing, that kind of spurred me to learn from them.
Fantastic. Learning from them. Well, that's really looking at it from a point of view. You're not just the leader, but you're allowing them to lead.
Yes.
What a wonderful perspective. So what inspired you to pursue this path of impact, and how has your journey influenced others aside from the students or youth that you're working with?
So I started this journey 10 years ago. It was during SG50. So back then, we wanted to celebrate Singapore's birthday, and fashion was, I think, came to mind because when I prayed, and the answer to me was that if I want to make a difference, maybe try fashion, because the way that you see a person through the hairstyle to the way the person walk, dress up, even accessories can be fashionable and can make a difference. So we went on a journey to pursue with the different communities, and in turn turn their designs into works of art on the runway show. So slowly that evolved into a social enterprise because we realized that people with disabilities, they have the dream. So we kind of take baby steps to start a social enterprise because of them.
Wow, I think that is so wonderful to think about, thinking from the perspective of people with special needs. They do have a dreams too, and
Yes.
thank you for sharing that. So can you share a story that you had to make one courageous decision that led to meaningful change?
So I think involving us are the caregivers. So not only impacting the youth, but the family members. And, I think there are many instances to us that would seem very, very small milestone and very simple to do. But let's just say traveling, waking up and traveling, taking public transportation to one destination. So things that may seem very natural to us, but it's a very big uphill task, to them. So I think Singapore is a very, very competitive, progressive, yet these people are willing to make their little milestones work for the society. So I think that kind of I think register and something that I resonate a lot with, the courage.
How do you encourage, right, and cultivate courage in people or communities you work with? Because some people are afraid of change. Like right now, we're in a better space. I remember a time when people are so afraid of people who are different, especially working with the special needs communities.
How do I encourage is that people, we need to see people in their will. So if they have a will to do positive change, we go along with the talent. So in Singapore Fashion Runway, we often nurture them, spend time with them, and even if they can't have verbal language, they may have certain actions, enthusiasm, willingness, and from there, that is the change, that we want to see. Yes.
How about individuals, right? How can they overcome the fear of failure and act courageously to drive positive impact?
I think it's easier said than done, but for me, it's having faith. Faith means that you do not really know what will happen, but it can be that you may have a plan, you may have prep something, but then things didn't work out, but it's all okay. Like maybe today is not a good day. Today, wake up, the mood is not good, but tomorrow, it will be a better day. So I think working with different people is to let them know that the day will come. Don't be disheartened, and one day it will just break through day.
Wow, faith. I'm sure that many people can relate that, right? I'm hearing faith, go with the flow.
Yes.
We hear so much about courage, right? Can you share a little bit about what role does courage play in driving social impact and creating meaningful change in various communities that you work with?
So I remember during COVID, I was actually very worried about our community, which are mostly the youth with special needs and families. So although, Singapore was locked down, but I was thinking how to get them out and running. So I started different initiatives for them. Of course, we were out opening stores. When people closing, we open. Yeah, because it was a good time to open because no place to go, so go to our store, So yeah, so kind of I think it helps that pulling them out. And courage is because when the world has shut down on us, we continue to live each day looking at the lives that we want to impact. I think that look without much calculation spur me to continue, and I guess miraculously, instead of worrying how will they be at home not doing anything and will they have meltdown, but I guess opening new channels and not thinking so much but just focusing on getting them out. that helps me. Yeah.
Wow.
So we open stores during the COVID. Yes.
Absolutely. I'm hearing when people close, you open.
Yes. Yeah. People close. We just do opposite and make a difference. Yes. That's courage. Because
courage.
everybody
I love
hide
that.
and then we come out. I actually remember the first case in Singapore. One of the first case, and we were a whole group of people and we were doing Chingay parade. Yeah. So I remember one of the first few cases when back then the cases are always very sensitive. Yeah. But I was like turning around asking them, so shall we stop practicing? Then they said, no, let's just charge forward. Yeah.
Wow.
So it was back then Chingay, and recently we just completed Chingay again. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. I'm hearing do the opposite. When people close, you open.
Yes.
All right. Can you also share one recent experience that got you to think about, wow, this is really an example of a transformative impact that you have recently experienced.
Okay, so because dealing with youth with special needs for the lifetime is very hard to correct certain behaviors. But I think in Singapore Fashion Runway we see a lot of miracles and testimonies every day. So maybe it is very hard for the person to wake up to be independent. But now when they see the youth, their friends doing it, somehow that kind of courage, to say that I also want to wake up and go somewhere, learn something, be positive to society. I think we see that almost every other day, yeah, whereby sometimes it's very difficult for them to change, but we see it quite often every other 2-3 days. Yeah, if let's say a youth like maybe have this disorder of having meltdown, crying. I mean, people are moody, right? I mean, it's like in adults you get moody and then like you can drink water, get moody, go and sleep. But in certain conditions, we just keep crying. In certain conditions, we just keep knocking on someone. In some conditions, we just keep moving. So after some time, yeah, they learn to regulate. And we also, I think more important is we learn to accept, right? So this is what the society needs to learn from them, right? I mean, if you're like that, but you can still function, doesn't mean that you're crying means you cannot do something. After you cry, clean your tears, move on with your task. So I think that's what we do.
I'm hearing the word miracles because to some it may be a miracle, but for those who have seen it happen, it gives others the permission as well. And that's how you develop more communities with courage. That's amazing. So, what is your advice for those striving to create impact but yet stay true to their values and beliefs?
I think creating an impact can start from your family. So with the serving attitude or servanthood, attitude, look at the loved ones. I mean, I'm sorry, but some people go until very far to do something very major. So when we wake up, then we look at the lights left, right in front. I mean, just a greet, just a smile. Can I get you a coffee? How was your day today? You need dinner? I think that we can work every day making an impact and serving those around us, so when we have done that, then we can slowly think of little major things to happen, and I think that every opportunities to meet someone is also our opportunity to make a difference. Just maybe a smile. You can greet someone next to you every day. That could make a little bit of difference. Smile, serve to the community. It can be your immediate family, yeah. So instead of waiting to say change in someone, I think we need to change ourselves, right? We need to change our mentality, change the way we expect something. So humans always think and find fault with others. Then we look at it and it's like, why don't we point the fingers to ourselves? So I think as we want to make a lot of big difference, no need to go until so far, climb the mountain and then, knock down the walls. You look at when you wake up, what is that positive change every day, yeah.
I think it's a great reminder for all of us here because sometimes we keep looking at the bigger things, and you have just helped us to remind ourselves that it's the little things that counts. And in order to create change, we want to change ourselves first.
Yes.
That's so beautiful. Thank you so much for that. Let's talk about mentorship. How can mentorship inspire courage and empower individuals to create courageous impact?
So I think that mental health is like a very big thing. So it happens to all of us, Yeah, there's a lot of disabilities. Some we can see, some we cannot see. A lot of people suffer from loneliness, because they just need their sparring partner, to talk to. And this is where I think if we pay more attention to what we can do, together, I think that the next time this person faces a difficulty or sometimes a problem that cannot be solved, to be able to let the person talk it out, I think would be wonderful.
Okay. So just being there for them as a mentor, and that's how
Yes.
mentorship can help others.
Yes, correct.
Right. I have a curious question here. When you mentor others, right, what is your perspective on mentorship?
I think my perspective on mentorship is so that I avail myself in terms of my time, and just generally being interested in that someone, yeah. So mentorship is not a very, very big thing that is life transforming. I think it is just putting down time, like and just like, do you need help? Not that I have the answer, but like as mentioned, it's just an outlet. Yeah, sometimes the advice we give is already not so important, but the fact that we're interested in that life, I think, is to let the person think back that, hey, someone cares. I think that's good enough.
What a wonderful perspective, because mentorship is such a big word.
Yes, it is a
Right?
very
So
big
people
word.
think, am I qualified to be a mentor?
Yes,
Things like that.
correct.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And let's talk about women, okay? So,
Sure.
how can women have more confidence and courage so that we can drive more impact into the communities?
I think women is like Super Mario and a superhero. Yeah, they put on different, like positions all the time. And I think that we are gifted, right? Because we can do a lot of things. The mind map is like multiple. So I think that women just need to able to find that comforting space. Sometimes maybe people will think that otherwise about women. The moment a woman speak, maybe she gets shut down. Yeah, not very sure. So to create that comfortable and safe spaces to let the woman know that, hey, what you are saying, you can say it out. You don't need to be fearful. Yeah, this is the space that we will support you. Yeah.
That's comforting perspective that women need comforting spaces.
Yes.
I love that. And I believe that there'll be viewers out there, women viewers out there, who may feel the comfort just in the words that you have mentioned. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Right. So now let's talk about the summits and the event focus, right? So
yes,
what
sure.
motivated you to participate in Her Courage Summit, and what does it mean to you?
I think courageous is something that is very tough thing to do for many of us, even for myself. Yeah, so I think the main purpose of coming is to learn from everybody, behind the scene, in front of the camera, on the stage, off the stage. That it is a good I think learning opportunity for me more than anything.
And what do you hope attendees will take away from the summit, particularly in the aspect of courage and creating impact?
I think that hopefully that they will make new friends. They are not afraid to come out from their comfort zone, to share ideas, and when they go back and they can take some of the learnings, apply it to, very importantly, their family, yeah, the close ones, and people that they are maybe most comfortable with to start with.
Great. So just one last question from you. If there is a message for you to give to the next generation to be more courageous and create impact, what would it be?
I think if there's one thing I want to share with the next generation is to be interested in life. A lot of people, are interested in things, but they wasn't really paying attention to lives next to them. Yeah, so pay attention, make that. If you have a circle of friends, it's very good. You have a community of support group, it's very good. Build this, because you need that. Yeah, so if we are overly absorbed into assignments, milestones, things, that physical things, we sometimes forget life. So once in a while, I think check in to see that who's that person has not contacted or have not met, yeah, and maybe we can just say hello. Yeah.
Love that. Thank you so much, Eileen. It's so wonderful to be here. Be interested in life. So now we are delighted to announce our partnership with PSB Academy, where we collaborate closely, enabling students to learn from our esteemed guests. I have with me a student representative who will be engaging in a conversation with you, Jadine Kahanding. Welcome to the show. Could you please introduce yourself and share what motivated you to enroll at PSB Academy?
Hi, I'm so glad to be here. My name is Jadine Kahanding, and I'm actually in the Bachelor of Communications. Why I chose PSB? Honestly, it was a step of courage for myself because personally, I came from a nursing background, and so I made a switch to communications, and I believe that PSB offered such good courses to support me in that change. For my first question for you, what other characteristics, we've talked about courage recently and empowerment, what other characteristics do you think influential women have in common?
Other characteristics will be, I think, to have love, and then to have that nurturing like mindset. So when you have love, I think you have a lot of patience, you have a lot of tolerance, imperfections, and you're able to listen more when you have love. When you have a nurturing spirit, you are able to see the good in others and you bring out the best in them.
Mm. Thank you so much for that. For your second question, how does societal perception of women in leadership shape their opportunities and success today?
I think today it has changed quite a fair bit for the whole world. So women has been very well respected and they have been given a lot of opportunities. I think very importantly, their family members, their spouse, need to understand and all form a support group to them as well. So I think worldwide, we are seeing a lot of women who are being supported to come out, for leadership.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you very much. So, if you found inspiration in today's episode, I encourage you to take action, whether it's stepping out of your comfort zone, embracing new opportunities, or supporting a cause that drives positive change. So, stay connected with us by subscribing, sharing, and leaving a review. And if you'd like to connect with Miss Eileen, check out the links in the episode description. Now, this has been another powerful episode of the Summit series of Voices of Courage Asia, where we inspire courage for transformative impact. Until next time, keep leading with courage and make a difference in the world.